Hey, what up guys? Welcome back to another MMA breakdown video. UFC bantamweight champion Miesha Tate will love to fight against Cris Cyborg. What do I have to lose? Winning the UFC bantamweight title hasn't changed Miesha Tate's mind about Cris Cyborg. Rumored possibility that Zuffa exploring the possibility of having a fight with Cris Cyborg in her hometown in Brazil. Miesha Tate says, I've been hearing rumors for a very long time. I just don't really know. I haven't had the confidence, but I'm open to fighting at 140. And it would be in front of 42,000 people in a soccer stadium in Brazil. And the competition Cris Cyborg is getting in Invicta is not the competition she'd be getting in UFC. She'd be fighting harder competition, baby. And with Conor McGregor going back to 170, he shouldn't be holding up the featherweight belt. It needs to go back up for grabs. And that is what I think. What started out a play at UFC history became a series of sharp left turns. At UFC 196 for the lightweight belt would have been Conor McGregor versus Rafael dos Anjos, and then Rafael dos Anjos went down with a foot injury. Nate Diaz and stepped up, and they say this is going to be another fight at UFC 200. They should make either an interim title fight or give Frankie versus Aldo an interim title fight so they can at least have a belt that they can defend. But what about the division that McGregor won the belt in? What about Frankie Edgar, who was promised a shot after knocking out Chad Mendes? What about Aldo, who held the belt for a decade? What about those people in that division who are still waiting around for a title fight? That doesn't make any sense to me that the UFC is still having, well, McGregor runs the show. If McGregor goes up, if they're still doing it like 170 in a full training camp and Nate Diaz beats him down again, then what's going to happen? Oh, well, I need to go back down to 155. And then his aura is gone. I see it being the same way. I see it being some way where McGregor is better at 170. He starts beating Diaz on the feet. Somehow, Diaz gets it to the ground and submits him. There's no way Diaz is not getting the submission in this fight. I don't want to see it. A lot of people don't want to see round 2. But apparently, everybody's talking about it. We need to see Diaz versus Conor McGregor. With Conor McGregor staying at 170, he's going to have a harder time to make 145 when he comes back at 145 because he's been fighting at 170 so much as of late.
And I'll give you a spoiler now. Bisping has no chance.
Chael Sonnen on UR fight grappling match. Michael Bisping has no chance in hell. I think the wrestling goes to Chael Sonnen, but when you look at this fight, it's going to be like a grappling match, so it's basically a jiu-jitsu match. And I think the jiu-jitsu side goes to Michael Bisping because every fight that Chael Sonnen's ever lost has been by submission. Chael Sonnen will return to action on March 20th, 2016, facing Michael Bisping on the UR fight card in grappling match at City Center in Phoenix, Arizona. The former all UFC champion, in quotes, title contender is retired from mixed martial arts, MMA, but he did take part in grappling bouts Metamoris 6 last year. So we're going to see what Chael Sonnen is capable of doing. So I'm excited to see this fight. I'm excited to see when you see high-level MMA guys go into the realm of jiu-jitsu, because it's bringing bigger names to jiu-jitsu. It's bringing names that maybe the casual fan doesn't know, because a lot of casual MMA fans, or just fans in general, don't know a lot of high-level grappling and don't know a lot of high-level grapplers. So when they see like a Chael Sonnen or Nick Diaz, they tune in because it's exciting, and then they might learn the sport and enjoy it. I enjoy watching like mixed martial art fighters go there, but when it's just pure grapplers, I don't know. I have no time invested in the fights, but I still think Michael Bisping has a chance to win this fight because his jiu-jitsu is better. I think he just doesn't have the wrestling. The wrestling goes to Bisping. Chael Sonnen did say that Nick Diaz did say yes to fighting him in this tournament or grappling match, but never followed through. And there was another time when Nick Diaz was going to go do like a high-level grappling match with world-renowned jiu-jitsu artists, but he never followed through. So I don't know what that is. I think the Diaz brothers should be doing jiu-jitsu tournaments like this because they'd have a hell of a chance. And right here, baby, it says Rory McDonald thinks that George St-Pierre could return for the right amount of money and fight. Now we know Rory McDonald is getting looked at by other organizations. A lot of fighters now are fighting out their contracts because they want bigger, better paychecks, and the UFC isn't ready to pay these people. And what the UFC is doing, because they don't have sponsor deals anymore, a lot of fighters are losing a lot of money. No one knows for sure if GSP is preparing for a return at UFC 200, but Rory McDonald wouldn't be shocked if it happened. And Rory McDonald trains in the same training facility. St-Pierre was attended the UFC 196 fight card, where the former UFC welterweight champion watched Nate Diaz upset Conor McGregor with a thrilling second-round rear naked choke. Since then, St-Pierre, long time, had trained at TriStar with Faraz Zahabi, has publicly come out saying that Nate Diaz did a really good thing in that fight. He was impressed with Nate Diaz's performance. He was impressed that he could come back from adversity and beat Conor McGregor, which Conor McGregor is looked at as like the pound-for-pound best guy in the business right now. So, as always, these are some of the top stories going on right now. I'm excited for the Chael Sonnen versus Michael Bisping fight. And I think Miesha Tate versus Cris Cyborg would be a pretty good fight, because I think a lot of times just watching compelling fights that are not for a title, not for a number one contender shot, would be pretty good. And I think Miesha Tate easily could do 140. So as always, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'm Trevor, and I'll see you guys in another MMA breakdown video. Bye-bye.